Hey everyone, and welcome back for another deep dive with us. So today we're going to be looking at the benefit of quality. I've got this handbook here for quality improvement associates. And, I was flipping through it and there's like all sorts of really interesting stuff in here. Like who knew a spring-loaded bin bottom could be like a game changer?
Yeah, they're pretty fascinating. And you think about the cost of poor quality, it often really outweighs the cost of just doing things right the first time.
Yeah, for sure. So this handbook has like a bunch of different definitions for quality. Like it's got
Easy.
exceeding customer expectations
Yes.
and then like superiority to competitors. And then it's got one that just says like, I know it when I see it. So it seems like quality can be a pretty subjective thing.
Yeah, it really can. And that's why I think it's so important to kind of understand all the different dimensions of it. It's not just about the product working properly. It's about reliability. It's about maintainability. You know how well it meets standards, how it's designed.
Yeah. I guess it's not just about like checking boxes on a checklist. It's got to be about the whole experience.
Yeah.
The value that you're getting, the overall impact.
Exactly. And, that impact can go way beyond just the product or service itself. Think about, I don't know, waiting in line at the DMV. That's a quality issue, even though it's not like a physical product or anything.
Right. Yeah, that's a great point. It's like any process or any service where you've got efficiency and customer satisfaction, that all really matters. Now, this handbook also dives into something called Deming's chain reaction philosophy. And this really got me thinking. It basically argues that improving quality leads to lower costs, increased productivity, and even more jobs.
It's a powerful concept. Essentially, it's saying that when a company produces better products or better services, they're going to attract more customers, which leads to more revenue, more resources. They can hire more people. So it's kind of a win-win for everybody.
Yeah, and you can see this playing out like all over the place. Like you think about your favorite online store.
Yeah.
Faster delivery,
Yeah.
better product selection, lower prices. That's often a direct result of them focusing on quality.
Absolutely.
Yeah, because the handbook also argues that quality benefits society as a whole. I thought that was an interesting way to look at it. So things like environmental protection and ethical behavior can actually be seen as quality outcomes.
Yeah. It's about making a positive impact on the world around us, not just about, profits and the bottom line.
Right. Makes you wonder, how does the quality of your own work contribute to the greater good?
It's a good question. Something to think about.
Yeah.
For all of us, I think.
Yeah, and they use this example in the handbook of a hospital pharmacy team, and their project was to reduce medication errors. They found that it had like this ripple effect on everybody, patients, families, nurses, doctors, even the insurance providers.
Yeah, I mean, when you think about the fact that, the handbook mentions this too, that one dissatisfied customer is likely to tell 9 to 15 other people about their bad experience.
Wow.
That really highlights the cost of poor quality.
Yeah. And on the flip side, you've got happy customers becoming your biggest advocates, spreading the word, bringing in new business.
So really, this deep dive is making me realize that quality is about way more than just making sure that something works. It's like a mindset, a philosophy, a commitment to excellence. That affects every aspect of our lives.
It really is. It's a journey. Yeah. And we can all be on that journey, constantly looking for ways to improve, both at work and in our personal lives.
And one thing this handbook talks about is supplier partnerships. And it's basically about working with your suppliers really closely to improve quality and to reduce costs for everyone.
Yeah. I mean, it really creates this collaborative environment, where everyone is kind of working together towards better quality. And that leads to innovation, which benefits everyone involved.
Yep.
Yeah. And this handbook shares a story about a supplier who's like misunderstood a customer's order. And it really highlights how important clear communication is and having, really well-defined processes.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, miscommunication can be a major source of quality issues. When expectations aren't clear, things just get lost in translation. And then that leads to errors, delays, and unhappy customers.
Yeah, it makes you want to go back and double-check every process that you're a part of, just to make sure everyone's on the same page.
Right. It's all about that proactive approach.
Okay, so I have to tell you about this quote from the handbook that just really blew my mind. It says that something as simple as a spring-loaded bin bottom can be a game changer for quality.
I love that example. It really illustrates the power of poka-yoke.
Poka-yoke. Okay, you're going to have to fill in that one.
Yeah, so it's a Japanese term. It means mistake-proofing. Essentially, you're designing processes in a way that prevents errors from happening in the first place. So like with the spring-loaded bin bottom, it automatically signals when the supplies are running low so workers don't run out
Yeah.
and cause a delay.
So you're basically like building safeguards into the system itself.
Hmm.
Like no more relying on memory
Yeah.
or just hoping that someone catches a mistake.
Exactly. And the handbook has all kinds of other great examples of this, like designing a part that can only be assembled one way, so it prevents incorrect installation.
Oh, that's so clever.
Yeah.
I'm starting to see poka-yoke everywhere now.
It really is all around us. The main idea is to make it easier to do things right and harder to do things wrong.
You know, all this talk about quality, it makes me wonder, where did these ideas even come from?
Well, the handbook does a really good job of covering the pioneers of quality management, people like Walter Shehart, W. Edwards Deming, Joseph Juran.
Oh, yeah, I've heard of Deming. He's like, a celebrity in the quality world.
He's a legend, he's famous for. His 14 points for management, the system of profound knowledge, and of course, the chain reaction that we were talking about earlier.
And what were some of his key teachings?
Well, he really emphasized understanding systems, reducing variation, and building a culture of continuous improvement. And he also believed that fear was a major obstacle to quality.
Fear, yeah.
Yeah. If employees are afraid to speak up about problems or suggest improvements, those problems are just going to fester and the company's going to miss out on opportunities to innovate.
That makes sense. It creates this culture where people are trying to, hide mistakes instead of learning from them.
Right. He believed that leadership played a crucial role in creating that culture of quality, encouraging trust, collaboration, and that commitment to continuous improvement.
So it sounds like these quality gurus weren't just focused on the technical aspects of quality control. They're also thinking about the human element, organizational culture, and the leadership that's needed to really create a quality-driven environment.
Absolutely. They understood that quality is not just about following the rules or using specific tools. It's about creating a system where everyone is empowered to contribute to making things better.
It's inspiring to hear about these pioneers. They dedicated their lives to improving quality. It shows that quality is not just a buzzword. It's a real pursuit, a journey, a commitment to excellence that can transform organizations and make the world a better place. This deep dive has really been eye-opening for me. I feel like I'm seeing the world through a whole new lens now, a quality lens.
Yeah, it's amazing how pervasive quality is once you start thinking about it. It really does touch every aspect of our lives.
Yeah, and what I find really interesting is this handbook doesn't just focus on complex systems or big organizations. It also emphasizes the importance of quality in our personal lives.
Right. It's about taking those principles, continuous improvement, reducing variation, focusing on needs, and applying them to make real improvements in our own lives.
Yeah, and it reminds me of something the handbook mentions about the cost of poor quality in our personal lives.
Yeah.
And it's things like procrastination, being disorganized, even unhealthy habits. Those can all be seen as forms of poor quality that have real consequences.
Yeah, it's a really fascinating way to look at it. You think about all the time and energy that we waste on things that don't matter, the stress that we create by not being organized, the impact on our health from bad habits. These are all costs that we pay for not prioritizing quality in our own lives.
It's like we're accepting these defects in our lives
without even realizing it.
And just like in a business, addressing these quality issues can lead to greater efficiency,
productivity,
and ultimately a more fulfilling life.
So how can we actually improve quality in our personal lives? What are some practical steps we can take? I think the handbook suggests, starting by identifying the areas where you're experiencing the highest cost of poor quality. Is it procrastination? Is it lack of organization? Is it trouble focusing? And then once you've kind of pinpointed the problem, you can start applying quality improvement tools and techniques.
So for example, if procrastination is your biggest challenge, you could try a time management technique, like the Pomodoro technique, or breaking down large tasks into smaller steps.
Exactly. Or if you're feeling drained by disorganization, you could implement a 5S system to declutter your workspace and streamline your workflow.
I love how these quality principles can be applied to so many different areas of life.
Yeah, it's about being intentional, finding those areas for improvement, and taking action.
And the best part is, continuous improvement is a journey without a finish line. There are always opportunities to learn, to grow, to aim for excellence in everything we do.
Absolutely.
Well, this has been another great deep dive. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
And we'll see you next time. Hey, everyone.